Hey, I'm Ruben the Crazy Soccer Dad. We're going to talk about one of my least favorite topics, defending. Nobody likes defending, right? We just want the ball so we can go try to beat the other team and score goals because that's what's all super fun, right? However, defending is important. And if you don't know how to defend as a team, you're going to run a lot. And nobody wants to run extra. We're soccer players. We don't like to run. We like to chase the ball, but we don't like to run. So let's do some smart running and figure some problems out. Have you ever wondered when you're defending, which way do you push the ball? Or have you wondered, how do you defend in different parts of the field? Well, let's see if we can nail it down to a few basic principles. One, there are three different lines in soccer for defending, and that is the front line, the midfield line, and the defensive line. So your forward, your midfield, and your defenders. Okay? What do they do on the field? Let's break it down. Okay, starting with the front line. What do you do when you are a forward and you're going against four defenders? How are you supposed to get the ball? Well, the reality is you're probably not. If you do, it's because they made a mistake or you did something amazingly awesome, right? Hopefully it's something that you get the ball, but the reality is you probably shouldn't win the ball. How do you run smart so that you don't kill yourself and die in the first 11 minutes? Or that you can make the game predictable for your teammates, for the midfield line behind you, line number two. So here we go. First line, your job is to show direction. Okay, if you step at the ball and you keep them on one side so they cannot shift the field, if you can keep them on this side of the field, right, you can come in here and pressure. Now you're making the play predictable. We know that this blue player wants to go away from pressure. If you can force them away from pressure, you make the play predictable. If they get around you to the other side, well, you got to chase all the way back across the field, and that's where a lot of hard running comes in. When possible, try to keep the ball on either the right side or the left side. Whichever side it's closest to, push it to one side. If the ball's smack in the middle of the field, well, hey, just push it to one side or the other. Hopefully, you'll get some direction from your midfielders on which way to press it. For now, simple, simple, simple. We're always going for simple. Keep the ball to one side of the field. Show direction. Try to pin them on a sideline. Don't let them go around you. Okay, so the first one, show direction. We have our forward showing direction. Number two is fill passing lanes. You're probably wondering, what's a passing lane? It's a great question. A passing lane is the space in between the midfielders. So here's a passing lane, right? Here's a passing lane, passing lane, passing lane. If they can go in those spaces, that is where they want to go. They want to go through our midfield line to get to their midfielders and their forwards. So if you are shown direction by the forward and you're a midfielder, you want to figure out, do you step into the passing lane one way or another? That will depend on where their team is. So if they have a player right here in the middle, well, you might want to just shift over a little bit, right? Shift over, cut off the passing lane. This is the hardest one to learn. It requires experience. And the fastest way you can learn it, aside from being on the training field and doing this with your team, is to watch soccer. Watch a team. Pick a team. Watch them. Watch them with your dad. Watch them with your mom. Watch them with somebody and watch where the game happens. You'll recognize patterns. As soon as you recognize these patterns, you'll begin to fill these faster. Watching soccer helps. If you can't watch soccer, hey, you can maybe get on some YouTube, watch some YouTube clips. One of these days, I'll find some good YouTube clips and I'll create a playlist for you. For now, filling passing lanes is the toughest one. Showing direction, pretty simple. Filling passing lanes, that is a tough one. So You need to think ahead. Where is the ball going to go? And how can I get into that space to cut off the pass? That is number 2, fill passing lanes. Okay, number 3 is a pretty straightforward one. We know where the other team wants to go, right? Ultimately, they want to go to our goal. So where we want to go and we get the ball, where do they want to go? They want to go to the goal. So if the ball is played up to the front and it gets in the area of the defenders, what is your job? It's very simple. Win it. Win the ball. Because that's what we needed back in our possession so that we can go have some fun and score our own goals. And then we can all celebrate. But we need to win the ball. So this is where you learn to step and defend, right? So let's break this down one more time. Front line, show direction. Midfield line, fill passing lanes. Defenders, win it. Now I'm going to give you one little extra tip that will help you, and we're going to talk about this in the thirds of the field. So let me break that down for you. Okay, breaking down thirds of the field as it relates to defending. If you haven't seen our thirds of the field video, I recommend going back to watch that because it helps you with an idea of what you're supposed to do with the ball. We didn't discuss on the other side of that, which is when you're defending. When you're defending and you're looking at the thirds of the field, sometimes, and this is where you clarify with your coach, which way do you make the ball go? Okay? Up front, it's usually pretty simple. You make them go to the outside, right? If you're alone, you're one forward, you can't really press them and make them come in the middle. You can invite them, it's a little tough. If you have 2 up front, maybe the 9 and the 10 are up front, and the 9 or the 10 would be your attacking players. If you do not know the numbers for the positions, I recommend going back and watching soccer by numbers. What position is what number? If there's 2 players up front, maybe you want to invite them down the middle. Okay? So if there's 2 up front, maybe you want to invite them down the middle, not to the outside. The reason and how you decide this is to press the ball into help, right? Every formation has a strength. Every formation has a weakness. You can't cover the whole field. So based on how your team lines up and the other team lines up, you want to fill in the gaps when you're defending, and that's where you win the ball. So in this case, if you're one forward up front, push them to the outside and keep them there. That way they are forced to go one direction. Pretty simple. Midfield third, this is the tough one, okay? Typically, the higher up the field, I like to have my teams press the ball to the middle. Why? Why would you press the ball to the middle of the field? The reason is you have more players in the middle of the field, typically. You're going to have your midfield, your holding midfielder, your defensive midfielder, your attacking midfielder. The ball's in the middle, it gets crowded, it makes it easier to win because there's less time and space to play, right? It gets crowded. As you get closer to our defending third, right? This is our defending third, midfield third, attacking third. Our defending third, let's push him wide. Now, I've had one exception when I have coached, and that was when I had like the most amazing goalie you've ever seen. He was incredible. Incredible keeper. Yeah, we invited the shot because we just didn't think they could score. We'd rather take a shot than a cross. Typically, you want to push the ball to the outside because if you lose or you get beat, you're more likely to give up a cross versus a shot, right? Do you want to give up a shot or a cross? If you push them wide and you get beat, you're giving up a cross in all likelihood. If you get beat in the middle, you're giving up a shot. Is that a high percentage shot? Meaning, does it have a bigger chance of going in if they get it on the goal? Which way is best? When in doubt, push them out. Okay? Midfield third, you get closer to your part, they're getting the ball further and further down. Well, hey, maybe that's when you want to start pushing them back to the outside, okay? Push them in, push them out because they're getting into the danger zone. And again, this will be broken down by your coach and how your coach wants your team to work. So always ask if you're not sure as a soccer player. Coaches love it when you ask them because then they know you need help. And that's what coaches are doing. That's what we're here to do. I'm a retired coach, but I'm here trying to help you out in a different way. So I hope this makes sense. Let's review everything just really quick. When you're a forward, show direction, right? We're showing direction. We're pushing them out. We're pushing them down the middle. We're pushing them wide. Make the play predictable for the midfield third. The midfield third, when you're defending, is the tough one. You are trying to fill passing lanes. Cut off the ball from the front, or from their back to their front. So we want to fill those passing lanes so they give us the ball back, right? If you can win it here, you have less defenders to beat to get back to their goal. All right. This is the toughest one. This is where I highly encourage you to pay attention when you watch soccer games, because if you can see a pattern once, you'll always see it. Defending then our last one, defenders, win the ball. All right. If you're in the defensive third, push them out. All right. Win it out, push them wide, push them out. Midfield third, if you're a defender in the midfield third, that's when you really have to know and pay attention. Should you push them in the middle? Should you push them out wide? Usually, teams have you push them wide because you don't want to give up a direct run on your goal for a shot. So, clarify with your coach. Make sure you have understanding. And again, fall back to that one simple rule. When in doubt, push them out. Then if you make a mistake, a mistake for a throw-in or a goal kick or a corner kick is far better than giving up a shot and a goal. You won't feel as bad and you'll stay confident. Confidence is key. Got to have a lot of confidence for soccer players. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope this all makes sense. Hopefully you're having success on your team, and I will see you on the soccer field.